Good morning, Krista here with Say I Do Forever. Happy Saturday morning. I am sitting here getting a list together to go to the grocery store. Jay is at work and I should actually be sewing. Since his days off are Tuesdays, I have exchanged my Saturdays for Tuesdays. So this really is a work day. But I ran a bridal shop for 16 years and haven't had a Saturday to be a day off in forever. And so I feel a little rebellious or a little defiant that I wake up on a Saturday and the last thing I want to do is do work. My Saturdays for 16 years or longer were all about, running a bridal shop, having the most appointments on Saturdays, having employee meetings and training and shopping and cooking for the lunch. It was such a crazy day that usually we just provided lunch in the back room for all of our employees. So as they were in between appointments, they could run back and grab a bite to eat because there was no time for lunches. So anyways, long story short is I'm not fond of doing any kind of sewing or work on Saturdays, but I do need to later today. But right now what I'm doing is it's time to have our parents over and my son over for dinner tonight. And I was thinking of doing maybe like a taco soup. Yesterday, we had a big chill down here in Idaho and we woke up and it was a little chilly. It was 50 degrees. I had to actually turn on my heater for my first bride in the morning because it was just too cold in my studio. I had left the air conditioner on too, which didn't help overnight. And we went from, I think Sunday was 102, and then I think we were in the upper 90s and hundreds the rest of it. And then all of a sudden this cool breeze came in, and that night we kind of woke up to it being a little chilly. And I know 50 isn't super cold according to winter, but it sure is cold when you've been used to really hot temperatures. So, and yesterday I think only got to like 78 or something like that. And this morning it was 49 when I woke up. But we are going to get to like, I think 98 or something today. So we're in that season where we get really kind of chilled evenings and then stay warm in the afternoon. But I thought, I don't know, I'm in the mood to cook some soup. So I'm going to try some taco soup. And I'm going to try a new recipe. And believe it or not, cooking, I have walked away from a lot of cooking. And so I'm out of practice. And so I'm a little nervous. So I'm not only going to do a taco soup, but I'm going to also do my tried and true potato soup. And I'll do both of those on video. And then tonight we'll have the parents over. So I'm going to go to the grocery store right here, getting my list together of what I need. And I will put in the description what my recipe is, but I better get going to the grocery store and then we'll get back here for putting it together. Am I the only one that still, after 2 years later, after the COVID thing, still wipes down all their groceries that they bring into the house with Clorox wipes or some kind of I don't know, it's just a habit I got into. And Jay and I still just wipe everything down. Just feels better. And clean our hands when we get back into the car. We've kind of laxed about the masks, but we do stay back from everyone. That was a crazy couple years. And I did some other regular shopping. But let me get these wiped down and then we'll get our ingredients out for our soup. Okay, I got everything out ready to do the taco soup. And like I said, I will put that recipe in the description. This is not my recipe. I just got it off Pinterest. And probably this fall, I'll do a harder recipe. But this is a dump and go kind of recipe, which is really good for my busy life today. I'm just gonna throw it all into the crock pot and just let it cook. And then after that, I will start making the potato soup. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you in a little closer so you can see the ingredients. Okay, just like I said, it is a dump and go. So it is calling for a can of pinto beans, 15.5 ounces, and drained and rinsed. So you wanna make sure you've rinsed that really, really good. And then same thing with the black beans. A can also, this one is 15 ounces and drained and rinsed. And I'm just dumping in. And then they have Southwest corn, and you're gonna leave the juice in that. And just a can of that, which would be easy to make on your own. Then they're going to ask for chicken broth. Now they asked for a 14-ounce can, but I had this in the pantry, bone broth. I've been trying to eat more and more bone broth. It's good for your teeth, good for your bones. And so this is actually 32 ounces. So I'm just gonna do half of this and then we'll do the other half in the potato soup. It's hard to tell where half is. That'd be good for now. And then it asks for diced tomatoes with juice. Now, one of our dear friends from Bible study, her and her mom and aunt stewed tomatoes, and so I'm going to use hers. Oh my gosh. I wish I had tomatoes in my garden because this smells so good and I want to can some, but at least those who are around me are loving me and sending me some. Put that in. Oh, that's looking really good. I'll show you it up close here in a minute. And then it called for a can of cubed chicken. And I just pulled some out of my freezer and boiled it and cubed it. And I actually put more just to make the soup a little heartier. And then it asks for 10 ounces of mild green chili sauce or enchilada sauce. And this is the smallest can I found. I usually use a pretty big can of this when I do chicken enchiladas. This is 19 ounces. So I'm going to do about half of that as well. Maybe that was more than half. Okay. Then it's asking for a pack of taco seasoning. Now this is my dilemma.
Jay is gluten intolerant, so we're making this completely gluten-free. And so you have to be really careful to make sure that your taco seasoning doesn't have gluten. And this one doesn't say gluten-free, and so I'm hoping, but I'm reading the back and it does not have any corn, or it has cornstarch instead of food starch or any kind of a flour. So I'm going to chance it. Now, here's the thing. Jay probably won't be eating much of this soup, but we are making it gluten-free anyway. And the reason is because he's not really a fan of food with texture or food with flavor and stuff. But that's why I'm making a potato soup as well. So we're gonna, and I got mild. I ended up switching to mild on purpose, just to make it a little bit easier. Like my mom, she doesn't like a lot of things that are super spicy. And even the enchilada sauce is the mild. Actually, that one's medium. But there's potato soup to calm down anybody's tummies. So anybody who doesn't want the spices. So it's a pack, if I can open it, of that. And like I said, if you're doing gluten-free, make sure you check for all of your items to be gluten-free, because gluten is in a lot of crazy things that you wouldn't even think about. Like red licorice has gluten in it. And that's one of Jay's favorites. Okay, and then it's asking for 2 teaspoons of garlic and cumin, a half a teaspoon of cumin. And also a half a teaspoon of kosher salt. And then also, let me grab. Also, it asked for onion powder, but I went ahead and I had onions out of my garden, and we might as well use something out of my garden. Usually I have cilantro in my garden, but of course it all went to seed because of the heat. But now I'm trying to regrow some for fall. We'll see if I can get some. But anyways, I got cilantro and onion. Okay, and I think I've got all the ingredients, so let's get a close-up and stir that up. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but that is looking so good. And I've got the crock pot on high. Oh, I love the black beans in that. And I'll get it really kind of warming up, and then I'll probably turn it to low until it's all the way heated through. I think this is a quick recipe that you can pretty much just boil and serve. It's meant for that, for when you come home, but I kind of want it in the crock pot warming. And also those flavors, the longer they're warming together and hanging out together, the better they'll be. And then right towards the end, I'll do some sour cream chive. Well, the chives are going to be for the potato soup, but sour cream for the top. We'll do some chips, some cheese, so people can actually top their soup. So we'll get that started and then get it warming. Put the lid on it, and then I will get the potato soup going.
And look who's watching me. She's not allowed in the kitchen, but she will go right to the edge here. Hi, Dutchie. Are we making some soup? Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna make the potato soup, or at least get it started. I still have to peel the potatoes, but I wanted to show you. This is from my garden, and I actually have a really big one and a couple of really big ones, but I wanted to get a smaller one for this. But I'm like, it looks just like the ones in the store. I'm so proud of my little onion. So you will chop onions. I actually am going off of the recipe here in the Better Homes and Gardens new cookbook. Looks like a Betty Crocker. but I got this as a wedding gift in 1988. So it's been through all of my family's growing up years. And I just, in the soup section, but I adapted it. So I just kind of went off of that and then did my own thing. So I'll probably write all of my own thing down in the description on the potato soup. I end up using, instead of like dill and some of the other seasonings that they use, I started using sage, and my kids love it. Salt, pepper, sage, stuff like that. So anyways, I'll be chopping that onion and get that done. So thanks for hanging out with me on a Saturday when it's kind of hard on Saturdays to miss your husband, because all those years he was home on Saturdays and I was gone. And I looked forward to the day when we could be home on Saturdays together. And it's not a big deal. You know, we can be together any day of the week because my schedule's a little more flexible. But I don't know what it is that makes me a little melancholy on Saturdays when he works. But it'd be nice to have him home and have all of the parents and my son over, and now I'm gonna start crying, not because of what I'm saying, but because of this onion. I have to say that the onion that I grew is a lot more powerful than the ones in the store. Woo! I'm gonna cry about it. So let me get this chopped up, get my potatoes chopped up, and we'll start putting it here in the pan with the bone broth and getting it to boil down. The recipe usually says, you know, you can pretty much pull this together in about a half an hour. But I have always cooked my potato soup for hours and hours, and maybe too because my family wasn't big onion people, so I wanted the onions to cook down and everything to be really, really soft. So I usually would put it on the stove and cook it all day, you know, just on low, let it simmer. And I used to even chop up these onions, which I might do that, pull that out, so that they're really, really small, so nobody tastes them in there. The flavor is good, but they don't like to get a little crunch in their soup. So I'll do that, and I'll be right back to dump everything. And I just noticed she came into the kitchen while I was doing that. Bad Dutch, you're not supposed to be in the kitchen. What are you doing? You're not supposed to be in the kitchen. Little sneaker. Okay, I've got the onions in there, and it's 6 cups of bone broth, or you can use water and then do bouillon cubes. The thing with bouillon cubes is most of them, and I don't even know if there are any that are gluten-free. So you have to be really careful. I found that out because I always use bouillon cubes, and then Jay, I thought I had made this gluten-free until I realized that the bouillon cubes had gluten, so you have to be super, super careful. And now that I'm saying that, I'm like, okay, did I check this? Yep, that's okay. I was just looking at the ingredients. It doesn't have anything in there that would be, oh, and it even says gluten-free. Yay, okay. So this is the first time I'm using the bone broth on it. So, and what I'll do is I'll let that boil down and get those onions a lot softer as I cut potatoes and get ready for that. So here's another reason why we are making soup. Is it's only 71 degrees and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was going to come out here and set up maybe a table out here for us to eat, because we've been eating outdoors, which has been so nice. But I'm thinking by 6 o'clock tonight, with the wind that's been blowing, I don't know, of course now I put a camera on it and it's not blowing hardly. but it has been blowing pretty good. I'm thinking I gotta set up inside. Here comes the, yeah. It'll drop in temperature so much between now and 6 and then 7 and 8 if we're here for a couple hours. I think I need to set up inside.
Okay, as you saw, I poured the first set of potatoes, peeled and cubed. I had the onions and the broth boiling for quite a while before I put the first 2 cups in. And then here is the next. So that is 4 cups, and that's kind of what the recipe calls for. But that is not as many potatoes as I normally do. So I'm going to count them while I do this so I can put it down in the description what I do. I at least do another 2 cups, if not more. So let me cut some more potatoes. Okay, that's 6 heaping, and that's looking more like it. I probably have a couple more potatoes that I'm going to cut up. I don't know, we like it very potato-y. So I might end up doing those other 2 potatoes, but I like to fill it pretty good, and then I'll let that boil for or simmer for quite a while and let those all get quick. Soft. I forgot seasoning. We do a ground sage, and it's just to taste basically. Just let it, and pepper, salt and pepper, of course. And there's no real, I usually will taste it a little later and add more if it needs it. But we'll just let that brew, put a little lid on it and let it simmer. Jay's home early. Nice. Hey, sweetie.
Sweetie?
Give me a kiss. You're home early.
Are we doing a video?
Yes, we are. You're home early.
Yeah, I set a record for deliveries. I did 20.1 packages per hour.
Wow.
Which normally is not the case, but we weren't really heavy. So I just smoked the tires and here I am.
Voila, now you can help me.
All right, let's go. What are we doing?
I'm making 2 kinds of soup, and I want to set up the tables here in the house since it's kind of a little bit chilly. I think by 6 o'clock tonight might be chilly.
You think so?
I don't know. What do you think? You want to go out and check?
Let's ponder this.
Your parents, my parents, windy, cold, 6, 7 o'clock at night.
We might get some complaints. I don't know. We can do whatever you want to do. I don't care.
I'll let you relax for a moment.
Okay.
To go with our gluten-free soups, we are going to have gluten-free brownies, really easy. Bob's Red Mill. I hope this is the one I liked. I'm pretty sure. And then I've made up some green tea and honey that I brewed, which will be a nice tea. And let me pull this together.
What are you doing out there? I can hear you.
I'm masking off the electrical box.
You scared me.
Sorry. I have to get this done so we can reveal what we're doing.
So this is the video we actually started to film on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But we will get it out soon.
And we're almost to the following Tuesday.
It might
been a little bit busy.
It's been crazy.
It's been a little bit crazy nuts, but that's okay.
But there's a little teaser.
Yeah. It's all good.
It's all good.
Here we go.
Okay, it's thickening a little bit. The one thing with gluten-free flour is that it never gets as thick as if you had regular flour. This would be a lot thicker and bubbly. But I put a lot of potatoes in, so that will make it nice and thick anyway. So now, I think I'll wait just a few minutes, but I'm pretty close. I think as you start to see bubbles and stuff, which I did earlier. Now I will add the potato.
The soup is ready just in time. And for toppings, we have sour cream and cheese. We also will have chips. Jay's mom's bringing some chips to sprinkle across the soup. And then for our potato soup, we have sour cream, bacon bits, and chives. So, just in time, ready to go. Yummy. And our wonderful brownies.